This is playing Bannerlord on the hardest difficulty for 24 hours. Bannerlord is one of those games where you can repeatedly go back to play and have fun no matter what you do. On this 24 hours of Bannerlord, you see the challenges I face when trying to build up my troops and ultimately get to owning my very own city. I have 3 mods installed as shown on the video to help make the gameplay feel more smooth. Without any more delays, here is 24 hours of Bannerlord. We're going to start with bows as I always like them in all my playthroughs, and our character here is called Sever. Also, don't question how I got the name or how I pronounce his name because it's just random. But yeah, let's get on with the video.
Brother, it's been such a stupid.
Also, don't question why I chose this clan name, I have no idea. As we start, my first goal was to reach Britannia and start from there as I chose that culture to start with. Since we were playing on realism difficulty, I started recruiting from nearby villages to make sure I don't lose my battles early on. I'm not gonna give myself any penalty on things I need to do. Purely just try to basically build my own kingdom. Maybe if I continue the series long enough, maybe I'll attempt world domination on this run. So as we head into our first fight, you can see that I started ordering my units to stay clear of the enemy. Units killed early on in the game have very low chances of getting knocked out instead of being killed, so I wanted to make sure they are alive so I can build up my forces. They are also a good backup in the case of me getting knocked out by the enemy, so they can finish the fight. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull out all the things I know what to do to make sure I have a pretty good attempt.
Oh, great heavens!
My god.
And
It's gonna be tough, because the highest difficulty I ever went on was the one just before realism, the solo clan domination, which I should have turned into a video, but I'm lucky I guess. Probably gonna ally myself with them to see what I can do, maybe run a caravan. I think that's like the best thing I can do, because I think realism punishes you a lot more. So from what I have heard, I was planning to get my own caravan so I could make some gold if anything were to happen. I also plan to improve my relationships with the local villagers in Britannia. So it's definitely gonna be slow. You want to try to like ride parallel to them. When they throw the rocks at you, it doesn't actually kill you straight up. But yeah, this is what you do, because I had a run just before this where I was just doing melee only, and that did not work at all. I literally lost every fight possible. Like all I'm doing here is just baiting them, let my archers do the work while I train my bow skill. Here you can see that I'm accepting a task from the village. It's a good source of income, and earning relations with them allows you to hire more troops from that specific village. This will be helpful if I was to lose my troops from any battle that I take in the future. NPC is baiting us, which is not great. Yeah, Imperial units are actually like so good. Either that or Blandins, and fuck with Blandins a lot. I lost like a lot of my melee units. Got just barely the requirement because you need 30% to actually participate. So what we're gonna do is just try to do as much tasks in the surrounding. What we're doing now is raiding a hideout. They have decent loot to upgrade our current gear. They are good during the early game as bandits can give you gold if you finish them off. In the later stages of the game, they can impact the city you govern, but we'll get to that later on. To clear the hideout, you just need to go through and kill every single unit you can find. You can also use troops to clear it, but as you can see here that I'm taking my time to go through and kill every unit by myself. I'm doing that because I need to train my character skills. Skills can only be trained by doing certain things to level up, so I'm taking advantage of that in the hideout. Upon killing every unit you can find, the bandit leader will show up. You can either kill him by yourself for renown, but I choose to play it safe and kill everyone together with my troops. After wandering around, I headed back to the town to drop off loot. There happened to be a tournament being hosted in the town, so I decided to give it a go. I didn't realize my health was so low and didn't go too well for me. Oh, I do not have the health.
No. Wait. Overkill.
Yep, That just happened, and it's not gonna be the last either, so... I don't know how much I need for a caravan. Here, I tried talking to a Lord Britannia for a task, but sadly I didn't have enough gold for it. The tasks that Lords assign to you are much better than the ones that villagers give you in terms of gold and relationship. The only issue is that Lords tend to be hard to find around the map, but if you do get a task from them, it will be easy to finish the task since the diplomacy mod allows us to send messengers to the Lords. I don't have the money for that. Oh my god. I just need to save up like a bunch of cash. I just realized I haven't been healing up.
Oh, he needs some milk!
That way I can train this. Wait, what? The reason for my shock is because for most of my playthroughs, it's odd for the Western Empire to start pushing Britannia this early on. That is why I find BANNERLORD to be fun and replayable, as every campaign you play is different. The kingdoms will act out differently on each campaign and you won't be able to know what they'll do next. At this point, I started running out of money as I couldn't find any suitable tasks for me to do. Most of the tasks I've come by require me to do some trading or resolving situations with other villagers that damages my reputation with them. So I decided to focus on hunting bandits for a while and hopefully come by tasks that requires me to take out bandits until I manage to get enough gold for the caravan. Also, I found 2 tournaments to join and yeah, this didn't go well. Yeah, I raid 100. Yeah, I hate myself. After losing territory in the tournament and running around Britannia not being able to find any tasks to do, I decided to head towards the Valendian kingdom. Even after travelling to Valendia, the mine situation didn't improve at all since the tasks we could do for villagers were limited. But I had managed to improve our clan tier, which in turn allowed us to hire more troops and undertake harder tasks. So you know how there's a tutorial that I skipped at the start? Well, I forgot about my family for about 4 hours in at this point of playing BANNERLORD. Radagos, the murderer of my parents, found me and told me where my family was being kept at after being betrayed. He wanted revenge and I agreed to go with him to hunt down the bandits in their hideout. Shortly after killing everyone and Radagos getting his revenge, I decided to let him go as he did help get my family out and we parted ways from there. After a very long period of running around, I had managed to earn quite a fortune and was getting close to my objective of owning my very own caravan. I managed to pick up a task from a lord that just needed me to get some horses, and I quickly snagged up the horses needed, finishing my final task to get myself a caravan. It took a long time, but we finally gotten enough gold for the caravan. This will help us for a while as upkeep of the troops are going to be more expensive the more troops we upgrade. The only issue is that if they were to be attacked, it will be gone forever. But for now, it's gonna help us earn some gold every day. Man, it's kind of paying for itself. Tier 2 now, so we can do better fights. Basically, if we want to have like a bigger power, we probably have to fight a faction, but I don't want to risk my caravan. Now we gotta pretty much buy some horses to make sure we're not slowing down as much. Do like a hit and run. So I'm looking around the map and recognizing what each kingdom has done. The Western Empire was currently pushing Sarai, which left their flank open to Valendia. But the Valendians are currently focused on Britannia. The push by the Western Empire didn't help the Sarai as they were also being pushed by the Southern Empire, effectively having to fight 2 kingdoms in 2 fronts. Britannia is also suffering the same fate as Sarai, as the Northern Empire was attacking at the same time as the Valendians. The one weird thing is that Styria is actually winning against the Khazars, which might also be caused by the Northern Empire attacking them. After having a look around, I decided that joining Britannia as a mercenary was a good choice, as they were one of the weaker kingdoms currently. Ideally, I don't really want to like fight Britannia at all. At this point, I was considering engaging minor clans for their gear and gold. To be fair, I should be fighting like small clans. In doing this, you might come to regret it in the future as you won't be able to hire them. Good relationships with minor clans allows you to hire them if you need soldiers to fight in massive wars. However, this problem is a future me problem. We want to start taking on small fights like against clans. We can get something out. Nice, we got a big chunk of them. Pretty much. Why you always want to like go against them? I'm not gonna lie, the caravans are that thing. Fuck! After spending 30 minutes on pub games and losing my money, I decided it was time to venture on and start working for the kingdoms. I saw that Britannia was being pushed in by the Northern Empire, so I joined the Valendians who are currently in the war with them to push them back. I had to specifically pick my fights as most lords I encountered had more troops than me. Luckily, I stumbled upon a lord that had just mass recruited a bunch of basic units and didn't have much high tier troops. I have a bunch of recruits. The biggest benefit we have is cavalry. There's so much cavalry that we can kind of overwhelm them a bit. I need to be careful charging in like this because they have a lot of archers compared to us. I went towards their backline and started picking off the enemy by myself. Typically, you wouldn't want to do this as going to their backline usually means death, but being on a horse allows me to escape pretty easily. Letting my units act by themselves gives me the leeway to try and wear down their numbers, as I wanted to keep my troops healthy after the fight. Oh my... Spears! They have spears! Oh my god! Since when do they have spears and Imperials? Oh my god, I lost so much. I started raiding villages further west as the Valendians were seizing the town on their borders. I wanted to take the hit off them and potentially get rid of any easy targets I could find while raiding in an attempt to ensure the siege goes well. Holy shit! Fortunately for me, the Valendians were successful in their siege while I ran away from my pursuers and hid in the newly captured town. The war didn't really go anywhere after the successful siege and the Western Empire finally conceded to the Valendians. At the same time, I stopped serving the Valendians as mercenaries after the war. This is to make sure that I could support Britannia if they were to turn around and start fighting them. Yeah, I mean, that was successful. We didn't really make any money, but we got equipment out of it. It's a win for me. I do want to start using like a two-handed weapons. I don't know who has the best two-handed. Hard to say, right? Blendian probably would have some good. The Northern Empire is against Britannia. Might join their ranks. I was looking to make more gold, so I joined Britannia in the war against the Northern Empire. At this point of the game, there wasn't much else to do other than fight non-stop to level up the clan tier and skills. Leveling up both of them was the only way you could get a bigger troop size outside of kingdom policies, so it was impossible to claim an independent castle of our own for now. I think we can win. I have way a lot of archers. We do have a decent amount, but I think we can. I'm gonna play it slow, kinda. Yeah, it's a battle of quantity versus quality here. So just being smart. I don't think my troops are being really smart right now. If I can just take out all the archers here, just trying to work the back line a bit. We only lost like 10 units. Like I predicted earlier, the Valendians launched a war on Britannia while we were skirmishing against the Northern Empire. This wasn't a good situation as the Valendians were healthy and engaging in full force, while Britannia had to resupply and get a new troop. Man, I don't want to fight them. This is a two-pronged attack.
Uh-oh, stinky.
We might lose this. They are really good. Like Valendians have such good cavalry. So it's a bit stupid for me to even engage them in this fight. They have a superior number too, so I think we should take our loss and just retreat. It caught me off guard with the amount of cavalry they had as I engaged them, resulting in me having to retreat. This was a huge setback, but was not impossible to come back from. Luckily, we sold most of our stuff already. After recovering from the loss, the war against Valendians was not going well even with the Northern Empire retreating. We were slowly losing ground against them and the war had only just started. I finally had a surplus of gold and decided the only thing I could really upgrade was my equipment. This is where I introduced the mod Upgrade Your Equipment. It is a mod that I find to be really good for mid to late game as you'll usually end up with a bunch of gold with nothing to spend on. Since gear with good modifiers can only be found in battles or the blacksmith, it was a mod that I think fits well into the game. What you want to do is actually get this stacks and then upgrade them with legendary. Could technically be really strong. Yep. It's one way to like really spend all your gold, but now I'm hell no, what the fuck? Are you enemies with me?
Jesus Christ.
To be honest, there wasn't much happening other than getting chased by the massive Valendian army since they caught us in a bad time. I was still quite weak compared to the other lords in terms of troop size, so I decided to see if I could pick off any stragglers. Should be easy pickings. Recruits. I'm gonna get really good gear. Oh my... What a fucking Oh, I'm dead. I'm so... At this point, I think it's important that I stop showing the battles, as a lot of the gameplay loop are pretty much skirmishes. To save your time watching, I'm gonna be recapping a lot of things I've done towards the late game. The war was still far from being done, and the Vlandis were sieging a nearby town. It was going to be captured if nothing was done to stop it. I noticed that the town still had pretty healthy amount of militia in the town defending it. If I wanted to stop it, I had to be smart and tactical, due to the fact that if I engaged them too early, they would have the number advantage over us. We need to try kill as much as we can so we get more loot. I want to keep them as safe as possible. So the issue with the fight is that they had a ton of high tier troops, which also happened to be cavalry. As you can tell, militia soldiers that are on foot against them are gonna suffer, so we had to be smart with how we fought. Oh, I might be dead, yeah. Why are they rushing like that? I don't know. Are you going for long shots? Oh. Go Vlandians, go, go, go! Vlandians are the strongest, honestly. It was honestly a long drawn out fight, but we had barely managed to come out on top. Since they had prisoners before the battle, I could recruit them into our army to replenish the troops quicker instead of waiting for them to heal. This way, I could get back out there and start fighting the Vlandians straight away again. After the war had ended, I went south towards the Mercenary in search of a good two-handed weapon. It took a long travel from the west all the way towards the east before I finally found it. After buying the weapon, I decided to head back and leave Britannia services to make more go in fighting. I decided to join the Vlandians who were currently fighting against the Northern Empire. However, this was a bad idea as I was making the Vlandians stronger by helping them win their wars. You see, bro, those fucking polearms are huge, man.
Huh?
Ay, yeah, yeah. What the fuck? Where do you come from? The war was going well and it was a pretty even fight between the two kingdoms. But the Western Empire had enough and started a war against the Vlandians, so we had to be defensive. We can almost take the castle by us. Along the way, the caravan we had earlier was ransacked by bandits, so I had my companion to set up the secondary party in case I needed. They're probably gonna die, to be honest. I mean, fuck it, we war, right? You're trapped, you're trapped, you're trapped, you're trapped. Gradually, the Northern Empire led up, leaving the Western Empire to fend off the Vlandians by themselves, leading them to suffer defeat and losing castles to the south. The banner shouldn't help them anymore. I think they're getting too big for my liking. Oh, it's about time I left. After the war had ended, I roamed the lands of Vlandia in search of equipment. Alright. I have to join Britannia because they're fucking gonna lose. Eventually, when I was about to return, I realized Britannia was in a war with two kingdoms. I quickly sent a messenger to them in order to join them in the defense. I was on the border in between Britannia and Vlandia, which allowed me to pick off stragglers trying to join their war front. Holy arrows. What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy fuck, that was close. Because I'm pretty sure that, yeah, he has fuck ton of... Hold on.
Oh, hi, Mark.
It's like, there's no way no one takes it. Oh, I'm taking this for sure. That's it. It's only militia. The only ones I really worry about is crossbow. Oh, I don't... Nah, I can't take that. No chance I take that. As we were busy defending, the war with the Western Empire came to an end, and now we could focus on the Vlandians. I tried to take down as many troops as I can that was coming to support the siege that was happening on a nearby city. Clearly, it worked, as the troops sieging the city was dwindling down, and I could easily fight them with the troops I have. Oh my god, how many? Lost like 13 units. Ooh. I was able to replenish my troops from the battle, and also managed to upgrade some of them. The war shortly ended after that as the Vlandians wanted a peace treaty with Britannia. I left Britannia as they were recovering from the multiple wars they had just fought, and roamed the land in search of work. It took a while before seeing that Styria and the Northern Empire was warring against the Western Empire, and I just happened to be around. After joining the Western Empire, I headed straight into battle, attempting to fight as many battles as I could. I wanted to make as much gold as I could to upgrade my equipment and make sure I had enough when I do get my very own castle. This is to ensure that I wouldn't have to worry about paying gold for peace treaties, as it was going to be tough starting from scratch. The war with the Northern Empire had died down and we were able to focus on fighting against the Stygia kingdom. Weirdly enough, the Stygians have been sieging castles down south where the Western Empire had captured some of the Aserized territory. Hence, I travelled southwards to see if I could do anything to reclaim it back for the Western Empire.
Oh, hell no!
Why are you running? Why are you running?
The castle was just captured by the Stygians as I arrived. Not wanting to waste my time coming down south, I started going for the lords that was in the area. As I started heading back up north, I realized the castle they had recently captured was slightly guarded. I saw my opportunity and started sieging, but the Western Empire army shortly took over and I couldn't lead it anymore. Hence, I left the camp and started targeting the small troops. Before I could do anything, the army that had captured the castle was coming from the south to stop the siege. We ended up fighting and came out on top, but our troops took a huge hit. Due to that, the Western Empire left and I had taken over the command of the siege. We managed to capture the castle even with our small number as there was only a militia remaining in the castle. Sadly, the castle went to the Western Empire, but it was giving me the confidence to maybe start thinking about being independent. We just needed to find the right time and place to do so. I started heading back up north as the war was soon to be over. I roamed the lands in search of work again and came across the Valandians fighting in the Northern Empire. I decided that I should fight against the Valandians as they were becoming too big for my comfort. Hence, I joined the Northern Empire and started capturing Valandian lords to cripple their force. I had finally come across a castle that had very little defenses and I decided to siege it. This time, it was a proper siege where no one came to defend it and it was only my troops against the castle's defenses.
You're finished. You're finished. You're finished. You're finished. Wallahi, you're finished. Wallahi, you're finished.
We finally had our very first successful siege, without any interference, though it was a small fight at best. After capturing the castle, I travelled towards the Valandian territory to engage them in skirmishes. But shortly after, Britannia declared war against the Northern Empire. At this point, I stopped caring about having to ally myself with Britannia, as I've decided to start searching for a castle that's easy to capture. There was a massive battle in Britannia where I did not participate as it looked grim. I decided to instead hunt down the small troops and help whoever I could in the area, as Britannia was coming full force at us when we were worn down by the Valandians. We were slowly losing ground as we couldn't get enough reinforcements for the massive armies that marched into the Western Empire. I decided to hold back as I wanted to keep most of my units till I could find something to siege by myself. Eventually, the Western Empire decided to pay the Valandians for the peace treaty as they were losing on both fronts and wanted to focus on one. Sadly, that was short-lived as the Khuzaits had started a war against them, making the situation back to how it was. I quickly travelled east to help the Western Empire deal with the Khuzaits as most of their forces are in the west dealing with Britannia. After fighting with the Khuzaits for a good amount of time, I came across a castle that was slightly defended on the edge of their territory. I saw my opportunity and decided to siege the castle for them as it was far away from most cities. With my superior troops overwhelming them, we conquered the castle pretty easily once we got on top of their walls. Most of the defending troops had retreated back into the castle, allowing us to gain an easy victory. The siege was successful and I couldn't help but think that with the Western Empire busy dealing with the Khuzaits, I could potentially get the castle from underneath them. So I decided that now was my time to do that and left the Western Empire. But in order to get the castle, I had to find one of their troops and declare war against them as I did not have my own kingdom yet. I did just that and went back to the very same castle I captured to reclaim it for myself. I finally have my very own fief. It did make my efforts in Britannia a bit useless, but I had something that I could call mine now, so I had to be careful now since I couldn't call off the war against the Western Empire, so I had to make sure the castles were well defended. So I did just that and started mass recruiting. I also had to hurry up my war efforts, as I needed to establish my very own kingdom so the castles would not rebel against me, as there are certain policies that would make the garrison happier. I clashed with the Western Empire for a good fair bit, and the battles would allow me to get a steady amount of gold. However, after a while, I saw a massive army that the Western Empire had sent out to siege my castle, and it was still not ready for a big siege. I decided to see if I could parley with them. Luckily, they would accept the gold that I offered them, and the Western Empire left us alone. At this point, I started amassing as much troops as I can, as I wanted to expand my clan and form my very own kingdom. I waited for either the Stygians or the Khuzaits to be in war, so I could take their castle off them and start establishing my hold in the area. I went for the Stygians and I saw one of their troops lurking in the area, and they were fighting the Northern Empire at the time. I need to explain why I'm going against kingdoms at this point instead of playing it safe. At this point, the only really big source of income is from fighting or having a city of your own. But the only thing I own is a small castle, with no big cities nearby, and could be my downfall if both Kuziets and Sturgia fought me at the same time. That means that I could not sell my stuff off for gold, and could put me in a very bad situation if that was to happen. I started sieging a nearby castle of Sturgias and successfully captured it. I wanted to capture a castle and put close to no troops in it, as I could use it to trap obvious troops that wanted to recapture it. It could also be used as a buffer so that I get more time to defend my main castle if I needed to, as they will more likely go for the less occupied castle. After that siege, I managed to level up my clan to tier 4, which allowed me to declare my own kingdom. There's no way. I might have accidentally named my kingdom the letter A. But I changed it to Alcaron after. I started going after troops and villagers in Sturgia to cripple the castles and cities, which in the long run might help reduce the garrison size. And this was slowly fall the loose garrison militia. Shortly after, the Sturgians had deployed their army in order to get back their castle. They started sieging the castle that I had taken off them, so I waited for my castle's defenses to wear them down, just enough where I could engage them. If I can win this, I think I've secured myself a solid spot. I think you know what, I can take this fight by myself. Oh my god, so many archers. Nice. Jesus Christ. Nice shot.
Nice cock.
We had won the battle, but was badly injured in the process and I needed a mass recruit, which also meant that my troops were not going to be great. It seemed like the Sturgians had only sent a small army to deal with me, so I'm gonna set up this campaign for a solo clan run, so you'll not be seeing the typical things people would do in playthroughs. Right. So there's two core things that we need to take. So tribute and forgiveness and loyalty. If you see right now, I got the +2 loyalty from that. If you manage castle, you see it increases, kinda negates the culture. The loyalty doesn't fall way too below, which is quite important. Now Lord, the gameplay loop is trying to survive. I would bring them out, but you have to remember that I'm playing on realism, except for my character dying. Anyone can die, so I'm just gonna keep them safe. I started siege on another castle as it seemed like the Sturgians were preoccupied by their war against the Nova Empire. Instead of charging straight on, I wanted to burn daylight as their food power was low, resulting in their garrison units to starve to death. The siege ran well as the moment we got onto their walls, their defenses were shattered and we got the castle without any issues. However, unknowingly, the Sturgians had went around me to siege the first castle I took from them. I could not defend it and willingly gave it up. They even took the second castle I took off them, and I decided that I needed to make peace with them as it seemed like they were not in a war with the Nova Empire anymore. After a while, I knew that I couldn't hold off on fighting as my goal was going to be depleted by having to pay the Sturgians. Let's go fight the Western, we just want to pound people. I realized that the Southern Empire was fighting the Western Empire, which could allow me to attack the Southern from behind. I had nothing to lose as the Kuziets were in between me and the Southern Empire, and my castle was quite far. Maybe fight the Southern people? Hence, I started a war with the Southern Empire, as they were the weakest kingdom right now, which seemed like it was a good idea. I started by capturing a bunch of lords from the Southern Empire and selling our equipment for gold at the same time. This went on until I could find a mercenary clan to hire, as I didn't have enough troops to attempt sieging the city. After a long time, I finally found a mercenary clan that was not hired by other kingdoms and requested for their service straight away. I started to clear out the area around the city I had planned to siege, making sure I wouldn't get interrupted halfway through. After making sure the Southern Empire was still busy with war, I called on my mercenaries to gather as I started siege on the castle. While waiting for my troops to arrive, I started building trebuchets in order to deal with their defenses. Dealing with the catapults on the wall before the siege can help minimize the troop casualties we receive, as they can do massive damage to our troops if left alone. By the time we dealt with our defenses, our mercenary had arrived and we sieged the castle straight away. Oh boy. I helped my troops to get on the wall by dealing with their archers on the western wall, allowing my troops to only deal with their soldiers holding the ladders. Run out of ammo. I don't believe there's a bucket of arrows anywhere here. When I ran out of arrows, I decided to scale the walls to help my front line assault the wall and secure a foothold for our troops to get in without taking damage. When we managed to control our side of the wall, the eastern side had already been conquered by my troops and we managed to pinch the enemy troops, allowing us to do massive casualties. After securing the wall, the enemy garrison had sent them back up, but it was too late as we had total control and superior equipment resulting in an easy victory. We finally got ourselves a city we could call our own. The city allows us to replenish troops without ever stepping out, and we are able to sell our equipment to the local blacksmith for gold. This is huge as even if our castles were to be taken, we could still survive off having a city of our own, effectively being self-sufficient without having to rely on other kingdoms. Riding off the high, we even captured a castle further south without much troubles. We had exhausted the Southern Empire to the point where they had sent a peace offering with daily tribute and gold. Obviously, we took it as I did not want to push things too far and have their entire army on us. Things had gone too smooth and the Khuzaits had declared war on us. It was really bad as the Khuzaits were strong with their cavalry units, similar to the Vlandians. The war started out fairly good for us as I managed to take a castle to the north without much trouble. However, after a long while, they had managed to take all 3 of my castles that were up north, including the 2 castles that I had taken from Sturgians. I had to hunker down in my city while they took all my castles that I claimed for myself. They had an overwhelming number of troops that I could not contend with. Eventually, I had to parley with them in order to keep my city, which was really important for me. And that is where my 24 hours of Bannerlord comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed this video even if you don't watch it all the way. This is my first time doing a voiceover video where I have limited amount of hours every day to record. If you do enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel and join the Discord, it's very important, in the description down below. And if you made it all the way to the end, thank you. It means a lot to me and I'll see you in the next video I do. Also give some subscription, what the fuck? Also give me some suggestions of games to play in the description or come to Discord and, you know, give me an idea. But yeah, thank you and goodbye.